This video could be massively life-changing for somebody. And if you watch my past video on the yin yang symbol, this kind of builds on top of it, but I'll go over that really quickly. Is the yin yang symbol is generally seen as a symbol for balance, but in an expanded, more esoteric view, it's actually an ironic symbol that expresses the nature of reality and how reality is dancing with itself. Because although both symbols visually look different, functionally and in essence, they represent the same thing. They represent something, and then that small circle in the middle represents a potential change, right? And so they're different colors, they're opposite colors, because at the extreme, that's the best way to prove that something can become its opposite, but really it's something can become something else, right? So good can become, on its extreme, it can become bad, but also the transformation could be good can become less good, right? It can become mild. Hot can become cool, whatever word you want to use. It's basically a symbol expressing the nature of change. What is can become what isn't, and what isn't can actualize and become what is, right? And so the symbols are sometimes associated with good and bad, or masculine and feminine more commonly. But because the symbols have the same essence, the question does become, well, which side would you attribute to masculinity and which side would you attribute to femininity? They both hold the same essence. And so the real answer to that question is, it doesn't matter, because functionally they are the same. They both hold the potential for transformation, the same potential for change. And so they visually look different, but functionally they are the exact same. Now, this is how this ties to you. When you're labeling yourself, you see yourself, you would say, I am masculine, or you would identify and say, I am feminine. But that kind of answer is fragmented, because although you might identify with one side or the other, the fact is you're not one side or the other. And also it doesn't matter, because both sides represent the same thing. So in some sense, the fact that you more strongly identify with one or the other is just proof of your fragmentation. You have yet to accept the wholeness of your being, because you are not one or the other. And because they represent the same thing, it just means you bought into the illusion of separation. You are both. You are the whole picture in its entirety. And so the answer isn't I am masculine or I am feminine. The answer is I am. You are that which is labeled, that which is identified. This is what God meant when he said from the burning bush, I am that I am. I am, right? Is he could have said I am God, but that God is just a label, right? It's a word, and the labels don't accurately capture the whole picture. And so we meet a lot of suffering when we try and find ourselves in something that's too small to contain us. We try and find the perfect word to describe us, or the perfect words, right? It doesn't matter how many words you have. None of them are going to be enough. You can have multiple dictionaries worth of words. None of them will be enough to satisfy and adequately capture your essence, because you might try and find yourself in the word good. You'll cling to the word good, and that will be right, but it'll also be wrong, right? You are good, but that's also not all that you are. You might resist or find yourself in the word bad, and there might be some discomfort there. There might be some discomfort because that word is not enough to contain you, because yes, you are bad. That's right. But it's also wrong. It's both. It's right, but it's wrong. You might find yourself in the word ugly. Absolutely right, but also absolutely wrong. You might find yourself in the word beautiful. Absolutely right. Also absolutely wrong. It doesn't matter what the word is. You can insert whatever word you want. The fact is, again, it's hard for me to articulate this because this is something that can't be articulated. It doesn't matter what word you attach to it. It's not going to be able to encompass you. You are that which is labeled, and that which is labeled can't be contained by words. And so this is why we meditate. This is what meditation serves. Meditation is you embodying, experiencing the answer to that question, because a word isn't going to do it. It's something that you need to embody, that you need to meet personally. And so and this is what we spend our entire lives basically running away from, is like we're running away from ourselves because we're trying to find ourselves in, accomplishments, right? We're trying to find ourselves in roles. We're trying to find ourselves in duties. And we just never take the time. I can't remember who said it. I heard it from a speech, but a speaker said, modern man misses God because they don't look low enough, because we don't look low enough. We never take the time to sit in stillness because that's where God is. God is in that answer to that question. And so if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, this resonates with you on some level. You're probably either you've had this breakthrough or you're on the cusp of having it, or maybe you've forgotten and this is just a reminder, right? You don't have to struggle against the words. There's actually so much suffering involved with resistance, you know, and a lot of these things are a part of you. There's actually a scene in Bleach, the anime Bleach. I'm going to be covering it in a future video. But you don't have to resist these words. You don't have to be afraid of these words and these labels. They're not enough to contain you. They may touch some aspect of you, but just know that you are so much greater than whatever they are trying to constrain you to.